Hello and welcome to Soul Steps. I'm David Gallagher. I had scheduled a banquet in Kenya, in the city of Eldoret, where I lived for a number of years. And it was a banquet to launch an event that we were going to be holding in that city, in that region. And we had gone to many preparations with the hotel. We knew the ballroom we were going to be meeting in. We were expecting several hundred guests. And when I got there on the evening of the event and I was ushered to an outdoor tent for our event, I was in shock. And when it was explained to me why we were outdoors in a tent, I became furious. I was livid. Just the memory of it makes my blood begin to boil. And I'm not one prone to getting livid or furious, but boy, on that night, I was hopping mad. And what I discovered was the largest telecom company in the country had come in and taken the ballroom for their event. And on that night, it was obvious to me that I was the little guy. The telecom company was Goliath. And I was getting shafted. And our event was getting shafted. You know, there's no guarantees in this life. And so often it's the outsized person. It's the outsized organization. It's the person with the bigger wallet that most of the time gets their way in this world. And that can become difficult when you have to realize that you're not the big guy in the room that can make anything happen. I think of the scriptures where God's people had overwhelming odds and they were the little guy up against the big guy. I think of Gideon against the Midianites in Judges 7. And Gideon started with a pretty large army, and God kept whittling it down because he wanted to have very few soldiers so that Gideon and all of Israel would know whose battle it was. It was God's. I think of Elisha and his servant who went up against the Syrian army in 2 Kings chapter 6. And I love where Elisha's servant is so scared because all he can see is the Syrian army. But Elisha's eyes can see into the spiritual realm, and he sees God's army completely surrounding the Syrian army. And Elisha prayed. And actually he didn't pray, he said to his servant, he said, "Do not fear. For those who are with us are more than those who are with them." And then he said, "Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see." I want to encourage you today to have a relationship with the Lord through his son Jesus. By accepting what Jesus did on the cross, taking yours and my sins upon himself, our sins being the very thing that blocked us and hindered us from having a relationship with God. And when you accept what Jesus did on the cross and invite him in your heart and allow Jesus to take your sin away, then your relationship with God can be open and restored. In Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 6 to 8, God is saying this over his people, and it applies to people today who have a relationship with God. "For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you out of all the peoples on the face of the earth to be his people, his treasured possession. The Lord did not set his affection on you and choose you because you were more numerous than other peoples, for in fact you were the fewest of all the people. But it was because the Lord loved you and kept the oath he swore to your forefathers that he brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery, from the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Well, in a manner of speaking, God today still delivers people from slavery, from the power of the devil who wants to hold them in bondage, hold their sin against them, wants them to stay in their sin so that they can't have a relationship with God. The devil wants you to face overwhelming odds against the big, powerful presence in this world, the powerful presence that wants to dominate you and constantly remind you that you're the little guy and you can't win battles. I want to tell you today, the Lord loves you, just He described in Deuteronomy 7. He didn't choose you because of your talent and strength. He keeps His promises to you because of His love for you. You are His treasured possession. And He can bring you success against overwhelming odds. The Lord wants you to know today, just like Elisha speaking over his servant, I'm saying this to you. God, help my friends to not be afraid when they're facing overwhelming odds and they feel like they're the little guy who's going to get the raw end of the deal. Help them, God, to see how powerful your help is. Help my friends see that greater is the army of those who are with them and for them than the army that is in this world. And Lord, I pray that you would open their eyes to see you. Thanks for watching today. Visit us at soulsteps.org. If you have prayer requests, let us know how our team can be praying for you. Look at our volunteer opportunities. We want to build our team to develop Soul Steps and take it farther and reach more people. And thanks for remembering us as you're able in your giving. God bless you.